Chef Brother Lux, Top Chef Colorado, and you're listening to the Coarse Grind podcast with Shawn Rosler.
Christ the highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord, late in time, behold him come, offspring of a virgin's womb, veiled in flesh, the Godhead see, hail the incarnate deity.
Yo, what's going on, buddy?
Not much.
How was work?
I'm just sitting here drinking wine. Oh.
Okay, perfect, man. Good. So you're in a pissy mood and drinking wine. I love it. Yeah.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for a very, very, very special, heart-warming, soul-warming, liver-warming episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast, number 89 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With you this evening, host, creator, Shawn Rosler, and producer, the Reverend Johnny Lamoria, a.k.a. Johnny Leland Robinson here. And we kind of wanted to just take a moment and, first of all, I want to get John back on air with me because he's gold no matter what he's doing. No matter what he touches, it turns to gold. He's like Midas. Just where do I go with that, John? You're like Midas, except for...
I was desperately trying to think of something fun to say about that.
Shit.
Turns out Midas, ironically, is what kills jokes.
Well, there you go. Apparently, a minute in, I'm dropping him. So, no, having John back on, and we just kind of want to reach out. Obviously, holiday season, everyone's getting into the celebratory mode, and I think we would be remiss, reaching out to all of you. If we didn't take a pause in a moment and say, first off, happy holidays to everybody listening. Thanks so much for doing so. John, I know, man, you've been with it since day one, and I don't think I do a good enough job of, pumping you up for what you are. You are literally the spinal column, the backbone, the ganglia of nerves that runs this shit. So, on air, full disclosure, man, thank you, because without you, this doesn't happen at all. So, I am grateful this holiday season for Johnny Robinson. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for being along for the ride.
Well, I really appreciate that. That warms the cold cockles of my heart. And I just want to say, echoing Shawn, Merry Christmas all, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, Yo Yule, and thank goodness for the wobbling of the planet and all that.
That's right.
It has been quite a year. Quite a year food related as well. We've done this, and the world's lost some people.
Yep. And
we got the what were they? The croissant.
The cronut
muffins or croissant. The cronuts, yes.
The cronut. Oh God, the cronut.
The worst thing is something cosmic.
Yeah, the cronut's freaking gold. Cronut's still going strong. Obviously Bourdain isn't, but I think, in a roundabout way, and the more and more I think we do this, and I think in the early goings, and you got to correct me if I'm wrong, but I got to imagine the first 10 episodes you looked at me like I had 3 heads. Like this probably wasn't going to get legs under it. And truthfully, I kind of felt the same way. But here we are, here we are, creeping towards 100 like so many octogenarians who fall short and die. Was that mean? I'm sorry. Was that just cold? So close, Grandma. You were 96. Come on. Jesus. This is going dark fast. So much for the food. So much for the highbrow.
I have to admire... I admire your dedication to the project. I am a bit in awe at how much you put into this and how regularly you pumped it out and all that. It's really,
yeah,
it's a bit inspiring to be part of it.
Yeah, but the same goes back and forth. And please, people listening, all 2 of you, don't think for a second like that this was like a planned mutual ass patting between the 2 of us. We kind of just ran into this. John just got out of work. I'm like down here decompressing in my office, and I just had this idea, let's jump on air. But dude, it's coming up on 5 years, and again, I would be remiss, in not acknowledging just like it has been a crazy ride. So, between the Cronut and Bourdain passing and everything, and now, for those of you that follow
those
the
are really
Facebook...
the 2 poles of the AC.
Is that, like, I have something permanently inked on my arm in his honor, and I'm comparing him to the goddamn Cronut, so I don't know what happened there. The analogy got lost. But, there's that, and then culminating this year, for those of you that follow the social, all things social, specifically the Facebook page, we were recently named, like, the top 30 food podcasts to subscribe to. And that's really freaking cool. And there's a lot of projects in the mix.
Although I react to that information the same way I reacted when I lived in Asheville, and I was told that Asheville was one of the top 10 happiest cities in America. It was really a reaction of horror. Like, my God, what's wrong with the rest of them?
Yeah, because, like, we kind of set out on this doing, like, the punk rock thing. I wasn't in this at all to be like, hey, I'm popular, look at me. But then tonight, true story, you wouldn't know this because you were at work. So, Eric Adjepong, Chef Eric Adjepong, he's on this season of Top Chef Kentucky, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, on Bravo, only on Bravo. And I had sent out his shirt, and he was kind enough to hook me up with, a picture of him rocking it, and I posted it. And dude, not 10 minutes later, Chef Brother Luck, who was 2 episodes earlier, comments on it. Now, keep in mind, they're both on this season of Top Chef. Brother Luck, from last season, he's in the feature of it called Last Chance Kitchen, where when you get booted off the show, you get to kind of fight your way back in. Anyway, he comments not 10 minutes later, and like, dude, this all of these people who are on the show are on the show for a reason. They're talented beyond human comprehension, blah, blah, blah. Comments goes, damn, nice shirt, wish I would get mine. Like mother guilts me into it. And so I texted him, and brother, if you're listening, I hope you got that text. I texted him a picture of the envelope with the shirt in it. Like, it's going out tomorrow. I'm sorry. I failed. I said to him, I'm going to have a talk with my marketing guy. Hey, marketing guy. Yes, Shawn? Okay. So that's what you get. But it's just, it's so crazy, to be sitting here at the end, but quite literally going towards year 5, going towards episode 100, and to sit back and to look at it and, just realize what we've done here. So, John, talk to me about the past year. Since the beginning of the show, here's something I want to know. You've got your cans on. I know you don't listen to them the whole way through, but you certainly scrub more audio than my mother has. My mother doesn't care about this show. She's gone on record and said it. But you've listened to a lot of it. What have you picked up from what we've done here? And I say we, because honest to God, dude, it's not the royal we. It's you. Without you, this didn't happen. So, what have you picked up from 88 guests now?
Well, I think one thing I have picked up is that food is, I would say, maybe one of the more accessible art forms.
Yeah.
Because it's an artistry. There is an art to it. I mean, yes, there's a craft to everything, but there's an art to food. And if you get some artists talking about their craft and their process on a podcast like that, they would get into deep weeds pretty darn quickly. Yeah. But I'm happy that chefs tend not to do that. They tend to be a lot more personable and maybe a little bit more humble, which is nice. Yeah.
And you know what? You touch on the humility aspect of it, and the humility aspect is massive. And I said it to, Top Chef. Look, I don't want anyone to think like I'm in bed with Top Chef or anything like that. But honestly, it's a unique, quote, reality competition show. Because honestly, it is what it says it is. Like, there's no foolery, there's no fluffery, there's nothing like that. It truly is one of the last pure media representations of competition, I believe. And so, in talking with, God, I think by now I've spoken with at least 40 chef testants from Top Chef. Season winners, Top Chef All-Star winners. The thing that has struck me, 40 times out of 40, is that 1, they're so willing to talk, 2, they're so willing to share, 3, there's no putting a toe in the water. They full disclose like that. And it's so beautiful. And I think that's why, I think what you said, John, is important, that, food as an accessible art form. Well, it's the first art form. You come out of the womb, man. Naked baby. What's the first thing you're looking for? Sustenance. And we're able to make that artistic to a certain degree. So that's awesome, man. I'm glad you picked that up. How about plans for the holidays, buddy? What are you up to?
Plans for the holidays. I'm pretty much working through the holidays. I have a new car, so I gotta save up for that and all that. But I do have some plans for next year. Excellent. I'm going to be trying to put on a solo show. So that'd be kind of cool if I can pull that off.
Yeah, so hit pause there for a minute. So, folks listening, I know on the out, I'm always plugging Johnny and his, libertarian, steampunk, erotica happenings. But, legitimately, people, I want you to hear this. Johnny Leland Robinson on Facebook is a legit artist. You need to check his shit out like yesterday. But today works too. So, tell him about what you do, John.
Well, I do collage a lot, digital collage. So, collage itself is a pretty simple concept. You take pictures, you cut out the bits you like or the bits that seem interesting, you mash them together in new and interesting ways. I do the same thing. I just use a art program instead of scissors because I am a hoarder. It's important to recognize your own limitations. And one of my limitations is I am a hoarder. So the one coping mechanism I have discovered is I've transitioned to becoming a digital hoarder. I hoard stuff on the internet.
Okay.
If I got in the habit of hoarding physical things, I would have no room because everything would be filled.
I got
so I try to keep everything digital.
All right. Cool, man.
And the show I am going to try to do is I am doing a micronation as an art project, sort of a fictitious country.
Right on.
So what I'm going to do at some point in 2019, hopefully, is do a show where I'm basically presenting the embassy of this fictitious nation. So we're going to have flags, we're going to have banners and coats of arms and pop culture ephemera from the country, and all of that together to sort of give you sort of a alternate reality aspect when you walk in the room. That's going to be the idea for the show, hopefully done sometime 2019, which I will let you know more about if it ever comes up.
I love it, yeah, and if it does come up, you know where it's going to be plugged. It's going to be plugged to death, and you're going to hear about it here. Maybe not first, but maybe second, and be sure to be checking that shit out. So 2019, looking like a big year for you, yes. big year for the show. Again, we're heading into 100. Mm-hmm. Looking to secure another live show. It will be likely far more reckless, potentially more intoxicating, socially, of course. And, hopefully we stand to do more good than evil for the community, as we always set out to do here at the Coarse Grind Podcast. We know no other way. So, yeah, man, 2019 looking like a big year, but 2018 first in the holidays. And again, from the Coarse Grind Podcast to your families, Johnny, anything to say to the viewers what the hell? The listeners? Shit.
You have great eyes, for one thing. Second,
believe me, we've got faces made for podcasts.
Happy holidays, Feliz Navidad, and may you have a happy new year.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from me, man, the same, what John said, happy holidays, do your thing, stay hungry, keep eating, keep learning, and keep that dream alive, and stay tuned, because the 90s, we've got some coming up before year's end. You're definitely going to want to check it out. If you checked out the preview of the Today Show feature with Dean Nguyen, I haven't really been hiding it. I did finally get the interview with him, and it's spectacular. That's going to be going up shortly, and we've got some other nice little surprises in the hole. Some guests, some products, perhaps, from the Coarse Grind Podcast, and potential for something you might leave on a coffee table. And not just coffee, but it could be coffee. How's that for being vague? Am I pulling it off, John?
It is wrought with mystery.
I'm doing my damnedest, sir. It is 11:30. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, This has been episode number 89 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. My co-host this evening, my fantastic producer, who I can never thank enough, but I will die trying, Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. I have been your host, creator, Shawn Rosler, as always, and from our family to your family, the best holiday season possible, and here's to 2019 and all the good it can bring the world. Take care.
Hell yeah.